Fooling around right now. Hey, I bet you in the mix.
She wants more. 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 What else? She wants more. She wants more. I'm getting to the mission. I go there to know. See, I'm not the one I'm releasing a good flow. Get in the second of the little one show. Remember the gam, no one of me said, look, get in the channel, but she go once more. But you need this so much.
Hey, what up, people? How you guys doing? Oh, I'm back. I'm here. It's his eye.
It's his eye. You look lighter now.
Oh, Shiza. See, I was gonna say the SHIT word, but I didn't because Tammy's mom is in here. I see Tammy's mom.
Happy birthday, Tammy's mom.
I see Tammy's mom, yo. I see Tammy's mom, guys. I see Tammy's mom. Now you guys can really wish her a happy birthday. The mother she is in the place. Oh, that one is for the dark room session. But we back at it. Hey, we back at it. But that's for the dark room session. Happy birthday, Tammy's mom.
So guys, remember for the question, you gotta follow Flight 654 first.
Yeah.
And
DM. You don't know what DM is. See, you see Africans. You see Africans. We say DM, and then people are just left, right, and center. This is the answer. Come on, man. Everybody's just like literally, man.
Right.
Yes, let me see. Okay. So like, Dami, what you finna do? Like, are you finna bring on our guest, or how you finna do? How you finna shake up?
Absolutely. Be ready.
Hey,
Ready.
Are you ready? Do you
My-
guys have your notepads?
Yeah.
Even the minutes before she enters, you guys should even have your notepad. Write down her name. Write down her at sign at AMOYE Henry HENRY. See, I didn't have to hold my tongue.
Sorry, I'm typing something.
Hey, look at it. Yo. Hey, what's good, LA? Yo, you guys are in for a treat today because today we have a guru. We have oh, I see some answers coming in right now. Look at that. Don't worry though. You guys basically like we got y'all interview with Amoy Henry. Woo! Fire.
What up, LA?
Hey, it's LA Wade. Hey.
All right. So right about now, we're gonna announce the winners, but first, the main event.
Hey, this is what you guys came for. You didn't come to see me.
Well, this is what you came for.
And all this chocolateness.
Although we have hands on face, but we come see
smooth chocolates.
Charlie.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Drop.
Hey.
Drop.
Hey, my bro. But yes, without further ado, so what you call is like this lady here. She's brought a lot of great things to the city. Like she's a great individual. She brought y'all. Who she brought? I think she brought Erica Badu. She brought y'all Jadena. She brought y'all Afro Chic. She brought y'all. She brought y'all Issa Rae. Yo, sis. Dami, I'm gonna log off. I want you to give her the biggest like somebody, and then like you do the greatest interview, my guy.
I got you.
Peoples. Uno.
All right.
One. Kick me off right now.
Bye.
Kick me off. Bye.
Baby, that's for you. Show me your body. Don't go for you.
Africa, 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 baby. Hey, hey. Africa, 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 baby. Hey, what up, Amoye?
How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear us all right?
Pardon?
Can you hear us good? You hear us good?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Hi, everyone. Good night.
How are you doing today?
Ooh, I'm good. It's been an interesting day. Very, very good day though. Positive vibes.
Absolutely, that's what we live for right here. And
yeah.
we are pretty excited. We're happy to have you. The anticipation has been real to have you on. Everyone wants to know about their whole, like, you know, the money situation, you know.
Oh man.
From me,
yeah.
I'm not getting checks no more from DJs, so I want to know what's good, you know. So like,
you didn't send me the questions. You told me you were gonna send me some questions.
I would not surprise you with any questions. I assure you.
Okay.
No questions would be any surprise to you, right?
I hope not. I mean, I hope I'm prepared.
You're prepared.
Hi, Sherry. Ooh, how do I
Hi everyone. Hi Tome. Hi LA Tome. We got everyone in here. Thank you so much for joining in again. So without further ado, Mike already said some things about you. He mentioned the fact that you're big. I don't know if I should be modest or I should be humble. I should just say it as it is. But yeah, she's in charge of, when you hear about the pop-ups that are the most entertaining in Toronto, Amoye is the one that.
What? That's a lot. There are a lot of amazing producers in the city.
Yeah, but she's brought amazing talent to Toronto. She's brought Jidana, she's brought Badu, and she's just not about that entertainment. She's about a lot of things. She's really, really a go-getter, right? And that's what I like to describe you from what I see, right? And we just want to know, to people that don't know you, who are you?
Oh my gosh, who am I? I'm a daughter. I have two amazing parents who are Jamaican. Big up Jamaican. Anybody that's from Jamaica, throw your flag. Yeah, so I have two amazing Jamaican parents. I grew up in Rexdale. Shout out to Rexdale. Right now I'm a consultant and I am a producer as well as a student.
Okay, so you said you're a producer, and
right.
Would it be fair if you called you an entrepreneur as well?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. But I
had that one. I was like,
because everybody's an entrepreneur essentially. So what type of business do you offer? So as a producer, I deal with services, product, experiences, and information. But information more falls under my consulting work.
Oh, okay, got you. And tell us, how is this COVID situation? How is it affecting you so far?
So because I work for myself, I've been working for myself for the past, yes, cocktails, I have been. I've been working for myself for the past 18 months.
Uh-huh.
So this is kind of like normal for me. I'm used to being isolated. I'm used to being by myself.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's just a time of intention and a time of focus for me. I'm using the time to plan for the future, but also just clean things up as it relates to taxes, business systems, infrastructure, like what tools am I using to kind of make my businesses more streamlined. So like I've been, cleaning all my systems up and getting things ready. I think we're going to be launched into like a huge season of favor Q3 of this year, right? I think there's going to be a lot of great things. Now is a time of stillness and building. So I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a lot of things right now. We'll delve more into that. But
Take off my glasses. I feel like the sun is kind of bright in my living room right now, so if you guys can't see me, okay.
No,
Can you see me, Dami?
we can see you.
Okay.
All right. So what got you started? What got you started? I went through. I was a creep, right? And I went through your LinkedIn resume, right? Went through your LinkedIn profile, and I saw that you were a working professional before you got started as a producer. So how did you? What got you started? First of all, what motivates you started to be a producer or to be a working professional? And what has kept you till now?
So I started off in healthcare. So, okay, bringing it all the way back. I did my undergrad at McMaster University. Anybody that went to McMaster, drop an M.
Master.
I focused, my degrees in Bachelor of Arts, I focused in political science and communications. I really wanted to be a lawyer. So I went to, I did my undergrad with the intentions of of becoming a lawyer, but obviously things didn't really work out that way. I eventually, once finishing my degree, I got into healthcare. And while I was doing the healthcare situation, I became really interested in like spaces for Black women, safe spaces for Black women, because I felt like there's a lot of events and different things like that, but I didn't see anything for us specifically. And so we had a group of us, like a group of high school friends that stayed in touch after university, after all that, and we created Afro Chic, which is essentially a love letter to Black women. So it's an event and it's an experience that, you know, is for us pretty much to celebrate ourselves, to celebrate each other, and to platform the next best thing in the community. Obviously, we've scaled now, so it's just not a Toronto entity, and it's not just for women, but Black women are always at my core and always like our priority. So yeah, I started off with Afro Chic. Took, you know, like a break from running the festival, continued to stay in my corporate life. I've always maintained like this idea of like having this 9-to-5, having all the structure, and then doing things on the side. So I was getting into like real estate when I was in my like mid-20s, and it was really important to pay off all my debts and learn and just scale myself as a person. Somebody that I could say is like has been so critical to my growth financially is Nicole Williams. She's a mortgage advisor, and she was very instrumental to me understanding my abilities and the superpower that I had, which was understanding money. So got into real estate, purchased a home, didn't live in the home, purchased a condo, which I now live in, purchased property with my dad in the Caribbean, and now I'm embarking on a commercial property purchase. So I kind of went through the path of keeping a 9-to-5 job. Exactly, Erica. Keeping a 9-to-5 job, but having things happening on the side that was very private that I didn't want to share with people until I realized, whoa, actually more people need to know about this because more people will benefit from it. So yeah, so there was a lot of growing pains, learning, figuring out how to budget, figuring out how to manage finances. Then I started to buy stocks. Then I started to invest in like bonds and like try to understand how far can my money stretch. Like, so I would invest in like little projects, like construction projects and different things, right? So I would say, okay, I'm going to give you 10 grand. I need 15% back in 6 months, right? And then I realized, oh, this is actually pretty dope. So I created an investor circle, an investor group of like myself, my friends, people that I admired and respected, and we would come up with like 100K, 150K, 200K to invest in these real estate commercial jobs. Yeah. And then we would pull our investment once the job was finished, and we would make 10 to 15% more than what we invested. Another cool thing too is like getting a lot of credit cards. People don't think credit cards are good, but once you get credit and pay that off, you build yourself a lot. And credit is power. Like, credit is extremely powerful. I agree with people paying by cash and debit and all that kind of stuff, but I've learned that credit is really my savior. Like, times like now when, you know, as businesses, our businesses can't operate without startup costs or startup money. Sorry, we need credit. We need access to capital to make things happen. And so, because I've been able to maintain good credit, I can literally contact my bank, contact credit provider, and say, look, I need $10,000. I need $20,000, and it helps a lot to have good credit. So I don't know. Is there anything else in this journey? Oh, I'm currently doing my MBA. I started my MBA in February, so it's about 3 months in. I'm the only Black woman. Why did I do my MBA is still kind of fuzzy to me. I feel like that energy and that thought process changes, but I felt like the reason why I wanted to do it because I can. I think I have like the tenacity, because it's a lot. It's very, 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 it's demanding, but I have the tenacity, and because I have to go places where no one else is if I want to see different things for my community. So for me to walk into that room and be the only Black woman, the only woman under 35, single, no children, I'm pretty much making a way for 10, 15, 20 Black women to come in next year, the year after, the year after. And we need more Black women in executive positions. We need more Black women with decision-making abilities, and we need to close the gender gaps as it relates to the economy and how we are able to like climb the ladder. So I said, okay, this is for the community, but it's also for myself. I made a commitment that I want to dedicate myself to my own personal and professional development, and this was the best path to do that.
I've heard a lot of amazing stuff from you right now, and I'm totally blown away. I'm sure most of the audience shares that view with me because of all like the stuff you've done. It's really inspiring to anyone who's hearing it right now. And I mean, a big congratulations to you on everything you've achieved so far. I must mention that on behalf of everyone who feels the same way.
I don't feel like I've achieved much. And I'm not trying to say that for gassing. I'm not trying to say that to get gas. I'm just saying, like, we should just have, like, this thing in our head that whatever we're doing is we're just trying to be excellent. God didn't create us to be mediocre. So even if you're a garbage picker, or if you're a house cleaner, or if you're a janitor, be the best janitor in the world.
You're allowed,
garbage picker
you're allowed to cuss, by the way, if you want to.
Huh?
You're allowed to cuss, by the way, if you want to.
Oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on not cussing anymore. Work to be the best you possible, because at the end of the day, it's not even about us sometimes. It's literally just the work. Like, just do the work, be the best you possible. The only reason why I exist and why I do the things I do is because I don't see anybody doing it. And that's been a big part of my life. Like, my life is basically the sum of all the things I've done so far, but I've pretty much walked into things because I don't see myself. So I've had to create space for myself so I can see women that look like me come up in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you're currently a full-time student, right?
No, I'm actually a full-time hustler.
Oof. Okay. Okay.
I'm a part-time student.
I guess where I was going into was what was the point where you made the decision to say, I'm not working under nobody no more. I want to be out by myself and do my own thing. What was that point for you?
I was managing a talent person. I was managing a very talented person in the city, and he was shooting a film, and I was having difficulties with my love life as it relates to my partner wasn't comfortable with my career decision in terms of like wanting to manage talent. This was a trial. I was just trying something, and my job wasn't fulfilling me because every time I would take days off or whatever, I'm flying to LA, I'm flying to New York, I'm flying to different things, I'm doing things with my life. My job was making an issue. And like, even if it was my vacation, like even if it was my vacation time that was allotted for that, my job, my ex-boyfriend, ex-fiance, like it was a lot. And I was like I was battling, like, should I pursue my dream? Should I pursue like my vision for what I want to do with my client? Or should I stay in this 9-to-5 government job? Hi Chantal, love you. Should I stay in this 9-to-5 job, in this relationship that's not fulfilling? Or should I pursue what I want? And I just made the decision one day, September 30th. I was in LA with my best friend for her birthday. And then I was like, all right, I'm good. I don't have to go back to work after this. But it took a process. I had to save for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I would never recommend anybody just up and leave their job. I think people need to be thoughtful and they need to be strategic. So before you make any career moves, and anybody out there that's telling you to quit your job, just go work, whatever, like, don't listen to them. Like, they're full of shit, and don't buy into that. Always have a backup plan and always have money in the bank. Do not do anything without money in the bank. Have 6 to 8 months worth of savings stashed away, and make sure, if you can, pay your mortgage or pay your rent out for at least 6 months. So you have the mindset of, okay, if something should happen to me today or tomorrow, I'm 100% capable of managing. So before I left my job, I paid my mortgage out for 8 months. I paid as much credit as I could, and I had 6 months of savings stashed. And then when my business consultancy grew and my income from my business was matching my 9-to-5, then I realized that I could make the transition out. And I've been good ever since September 30th, 2018.
Nice. So you mentioned 3 things. You said you paid out your mortgage 6 months. You had 8 months worth of savings, and your consultancy.
I paid my mortgage for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
I had 6 months worth of savings. I minimized my debt I paid probably like $6,000 of debt off while I was in the job. So that's the thing with jobs. With 9-to-5, they're supposed to sustain your livelihood. So you have your money, you pay off your debts, you put money to the side, and then you do your hustles to build more wealth and create more opportunities to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was doing. But I was always in the back end. I didn't want to be on the forefront. If anybody had asked me to come on live, I would say no. I was really in the back, because what was so important to me at the time was building. Everybody wants to be like chasing clout and want to be seen and want to have credit and want to be out there. For me, it was more critical to be able to create systems and create businesses that I could will to my kids. Like, if you can't create a business right now that you could leave in your kid's name if something should happen to you, then it's not a real business. Your business of being a brand or being a personality or whatever is not tangible, and it's not sustainable. And a lot of people are creating brands off of themselves, but they don't have anything on the side. So for me, it was so important. Stay in the back burn, build up Afro Chic, build up my consultancy, build up all these projects that I'm doing. Nobody needs to see me, minimal risk, all that. And then grow them. So eventually 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I can hire somebody to do what I'm doing, and I can just chill on a beach somewhere.
I like that.
Because it was so key for me to just do the work. You can't speed things up. You can't pretend like you have it and you don't. It's actual work. Like, they say that, I read this quote the other day, and it's so real. Like, there's no such thing as an overnight success. There's a 10-year overnight success.
Mm-hmm.
And Afro Chic didn't just, yeah, we booked Jadena, we booked Erykah Badu, we booked Issa Rae, we worked on WizKid, we worked on Mr. Easy, we worked on great shows, we booked Effia, but that took 10 years of work. That took 10 years of sacrifice. I spent $10,000 every year producing that show, and I had to work my ass off. I had to work like harder than everybody else because I was doing something for the community, but I was also doing something to build generational wealth for my family. And so, yeah, my suggestion for people is there's no quick, easy way to get money. You have to do the work. You have to be invested in your dreams, and you have to look at yourself like, what can I create that I can will to my kids? What can I create now that 20, 30 years from now, my family will benefit off of the decisions I make now?
So the question is, and we're really impressed by what everything we're hearing, and there's a lot of takeaways from this. And honestly, I'm learning. Like, I'm taking notes right now in my head because I gotta hold my phone. But if I could have like a paper and a pen, I'll just like start taking notes right now. But if there was, if there is like what changed? Were you always like this, or was there an event in your life that just sparked you to be the person you are right now?
No, I've always been very conscious of what my potential is. I just didn't make the right choices that best aligned with my potential until I realized that health is everything. I got really sick in 2015. I had uterine fibroids, and I was really young, and I just didn't understand, like, why me? But I just got out of the mindset of why me, woe is me, whatever. Who cares about complaining? Everybody has their cross to bear. God gave everybody the potential to exceed whatever their circumstances are, and I had to. So I think for me, my pivotal moment of I need to transition or I need to make better decisions was when I met Dr. Sebi, and he really helped me understand that the body is a temple and it's holy. Like, our bodies are holy. Like, we walk in like a sacred territory, like our existence. And so I learned that, and I think once I made that trip to Honduras and I kind of went through the healing process and all that, I was like, my decisions have to be differently. I have to move different. I have to talk to different people differently. I have to engage energies differently and hold myself to the highest regard and the highest expectations. And so that was the pivotal moment for me. But also, being a child of immigrants, my parents sacrificed so much for me to have everything that I have today. And if it were not for my parents, I wouldn't have anything. And so I give them so much thanks because they had a vision that a lot of people didn't understand coming here to foreign land. And you know what our responsibility is right now is to retire our parents, really, and create a legacy so they can be proud of the sacrifices they made.
Absolutely, and we live for that, really. These are the times.
There's questions happening there. Wow, there's a lot of statements. Okay, yeah, sorry.
There's a lot of questions right now.
I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't even see. Sorry.
I can read some. I think someone just asked you for your autograph, if anything.
My autograph. Wow.
So we'll get to these questions. We'll have an official Q&A section at the end of the interview, right? But these times we find ourselves are very unprecedented times. There are times where people are really anxious about the money, about when it's gonna end, what they're gonna do, how should they spend, should they be spending too much? We heard a lot about not spending too much right now, keeping all you can, all that. But there's a lot we hear.
Overall, regardless of COVID, You shouldn't be spending a lot, period. Don't spend outside of your means. Like, regardless of whatever we have right now, like, pretend that you don't have money for the next 8 months. That's how I live. I'm very frugal. As much as I travel and as much as I like nice things, I'm not spending outside of my means. And I think this is a very humbling scenario that we all need to appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really need that car? Do you really need those clothes? No. At the end of the day, look at what this pandemic is doing to us. It's showing us that the bare essentials are all we need for survival. And family time with each other, time with the best people around us.
Absolutely.
That's all we need. Like, the biggest commodity that we were missing in society, that nobody ever had, that people never appreciated, was time. And now we have it. Right? So we don't need to spend $1 million. Like, anybody in Toronto who works a 9 to 5, doesn't have kids, has, you know, money coming in, you don't need to be spending over $1,500 a month. No, it's not necessary. Live within your means and live below your means. Like, that's what these people in other races are doing. They are not spending money all the time. They have money put aside. They have savings. They have a plan. And that's what I think this is teaching us. Like, the money that you have now, how far can it stretch? Do you need to buy everything that you see in the Walmart? No.
No, you don't.
Can you cook at home? Where is McDonald's going? Nowhere. Can you cook at home? Can you purchase food from somebody you know locally, or support locally? Like, we don't need to be spending. And it shouldn't take COVID for us to realize that and have that. Look at Theo. Have that thinking of, oh my gosh, because of COVID, we have to budget. You should always been budgeting. Everything should have been like, how do I minimize my expenses? And how do I ensure that my earnings surpass my expenses by at least 2 times?
That's what's up, really. And I live for frugality as well. And minimalism is what I try to embrace in my own life, actually.
Minimalism, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I don't.
And there should be no shame in, like, cooking from home. I feel like people should make a challenge, like the cooking challenge, because I see all these dance challenges. Sidel, let me know. I have a budget I can share with you. Just message me or email me and I'll send you my budget. I have an actual budget. I think people should be like, let's start a cooking challenge. Let's show what we cook from home. Let's show that we actually know how to cook, first of all, and that we know how to save. Let's start a savings challenge.
Absolutely.
You earn $2,000, you earn $2,500. After you paid your rent, how much do you have left? We should be we should be talking about financial literacy so much more in our communities.
Absolutely.
And demystifying it, right? It's not this mystic, secret, dangerous thing. It's real life.
And the thing about it is that if people had embraced that lifestyle before COVID, we'll probably not run into all the problems that people have right now, right? Like, there'll be minimal problems right now, right? But the fact is people haven't embraced that lifestyle, right? Because as much as both of us can say, hey, we're frugal people, we don't spend too much, there's a lot of us that are not like that. And we can't necessarily, like, we can teach people how to be like that. There's some people who are not even bred that way, right? So now people find themselves in situations where there's anxiety, and there's real anxiety in the land, right? Like, people don't even know, like, literally know what to do with their money, right? There's a real money situation. And I've been watching your snaps, and you dish out a lot of knowledge through your Instagram stories, right, to people about what they should do regarding mortgages and what they should do regarding any other financial situation. So what are the tips? I know you've been sharing. We didn't even ask for tips, and you've been sharing tips all the way. It just shows you're a knowledge broker, and we appreciate that. But you just recently released an ebook about embracing your improving your financial situation during this period, right? What are the things that we should be considering as individuals, right? Generically, what are the things that we should be considering right now? What are the tips that you have to give us during this period?
So obviously the first thing that is key is survival. So what are the three things? Water, shelter, safety, right? Pretty much. When we break it down to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So do you have a place to stay? Are you safe? Do you have food, water? Are you consuming things that make you better and that sustain you? When you do that and you've broken down your budget and you've addressed that, then everything else should be going towards your other expenses. So I don't think clearing commercial debt is a priority right now. I'm sorry. I think clearing commercial debt is a priority, but I don't think paying for things like student loans is a priority. Paying your mortgage is a priority, but if you can negotiate and you can work on an agreement to ensure that you're still paying things, but reduce payments, right? There's all kinds of different resources now that are opening up as the situation progresses. But I think the priority is always making sure that you're paying your bills, and anything that has a high interest rate, you're paying that first and quickly. As it relates to student loans, things with a low interest rate, you might be able to pay those things down a bit slower and take your time. I actually believe that recently Canada student loans, they've actually stopped payments, so you don't need to pay for that for 6 months. But don't loft, you know? But that's just credit that's not bad credit, so it's not going to impact you in the long run versus the 19.99% interest rate with Visa, right? But I think people should be renegotiating their interest terms because there's a lot of low interest rate credit products that are coming onto the market now. And if you're still paying high interest rates, it's a buyer's market and it's a buyer's economy. It's a demand economy. So you go and renegotiate what you're paying for right now. For people who have cash or who have high amounts of money stacked to the side, I just went to go look at a commercial property investment today because I was like, whoa, like this interest rate is hella low. Like, you know what I mean? Like things are really, there's a lot of desperation right now. I don't know what you know about American, but you can never pay that to become a millionaire. Then don't pay it. Don't pay your student loan. See what happens. Just joking.
Right? There's
Canada,
only one way to find out.
In Canada, we have a different system here, so it's a bit more lenient. I don't know what it is like in America, but I know for a fact in Canada, the student loans process is a bit more lenient and easier to deal with. But I think the priority is always, you know, those three things, your basic necessities. Now, if you want to get cool, you want to get whatever, invest in a new business, invest in a pivot business. So I've been meeting with people all past 3 weeks. Actually, how long has this been going on? 4 weeks now?
About 4 or 5 weeks now.
Yeah, so I've been meeting with people like every week. I'm consulting a lawyer right now. He works in Toronto, and he's trying to, in Brampton. He's trying to figure out what's his pivot as an attorney. Right. And so I'm consulting with him. I've been speaking with people who own nail salons, restaurants, gyms, all those different types of businesses. I have an optometrist that's one of my clients. And so what is a pivot? So invest your money in businesses or a business platform that will allow you to pivot. Invest your money in skills building. And a lot of these resources are free.
How do you mean by pivot? When you say pivot, what do you mean?
Pivot meaning reposition your business to be able to still bring in revenue.
Okay. Just for the people out there.
I was just saying people need tangible and concrete strategies. Sorry. I didn't mean don't pay it. I mean it's something you're paying off until you die. Yeah, no, for sure. Like I don't know the American system that well, so I wouldn't be able to speak to that. But I think there's always got to be a plan in place when you're talking about paying debt. And explore debt consolidation. If there's a high interest rate on your student loan, which there usually aren't, well, as it relates to Canadian student loans, you can negotiate a lower interest rate and see if you can pay those down faster. But my thing is, Sidel, with student loans, you can actually use other debt to pay down certain debt. But that's a whole other thing, which you would have to talk to an advisor about that. But you can certainly use other debt to pay down debt. And that's one of the strategies that rich people use.
Absolutely.
What were we talking about again, Dami? Sorry.
Talking about tips during this period.
Yeah.
I think talking about
so definitely, I think the priority is people need to prioritize keeping their expenses low. And if you have cash or if you have reserves put somewhere, use the money that you have to the side. But the priority right now isn't about maintaining the same standard of living at all.
Yeah.
You're not maintaining the same standard of living. You're coming down a couple notches. So we don't need to have the latest Brazilian weave, ladies. We don't need to have our nails done. We don't need to have our eyelashes. Basic standard of living, and just stack as much money as you can. If you're getting paid, if you're still working and you're working from home, you should be spending way less, first of all, because you're not commuting anymore and you don't have to buy food on the road. You should be reinvesting that money, saving, clearing as much debt as you can, and putting money to the side.
Absolutely. And these are important tips. I must add to that this is a period where things are starting to, even like this type of opportunities for investment are starting to become cheaper. So for example, stocks, right? Stocks are going down. Everyone says the bars, it's a market for people who want to invest, to start investing right now, right? Even in property, I'm not really sure. I know it's frozen in Toronto right now, but it might start to calm down soon. I just don't know the situation yet. For cars, it's not a time to invest in cars, but if you're looking that way, it's a time where cars are cheap as well. But is this the right time?
Killy, negotiate the lowest. You're not driving to anywhere other than the groceries and to the gas station. So for me, if I had a car, I got rid of my car when I bought a condo downtown. You should renegotiate, and you should be paying as little as possible on your car insurance, like the minimum deductible. Mm-hmm. I think my friend's car insurance right now is like $30 or something. Get the minimum for like theft or break-in or whatever. And are
you saying it's possible to renegotiate your insurance right now?
I believe so. I believe you should be calling and contacting. Everybody understands what we're facing. So if you're locked in and you have to pay a certain amount, if there's a premium that you have to meet, then. But if you can get out of it, get out of it. Why should you pay for it?
What about, is this a time where people are supposed to be, what would you say is a good time to start investing in stocks for people who are looking at that option?
I think the people that should be investing in stocks realistically are people that can handle risk and people that are not attached to their money. Mm-hmm. Because if you are attached to your money, it's going to hurt your feelings. And if there's a time period now where people are emotional, I'd say now, for people who invest in stocks, like investors right now, if you're used to the ups and downs and you're used to the unpredictability, it's easy, right? Because I don't move with an attachment to money. I don't move with an attachment to anything. Except for like men or whoever I care about, like friends, family, whatever. I just move when it comes to money with what makes sense. And so if you're afraid to lose your money, if you're an emotional person, don't invest in stocks right now. If you have savings put to the side and you're prepared to lose everything, invest in the stocks. Because it's going to go really low. It's going to get really bad before it gets better.
Absolutely.
But that's one of the things with investments. Investments is money that you're prepared to lose.
How about, you mentioned you were looking at some real estate options right now. Is this a good time to start to buy? I mean, considering the mortgage interest rates are low right now. But however, is this a good time to say, because we never know when this is going to end. It might end in 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm just being like really extreme there, but like it might end in the next 2 years, and you buy a property right now and you don't have any value for it because no one's going to rent it, or whatever, right? So what is the should we be? I think the question I'm aiming for right now is a proper strategy right now. Should we be holding on to as much money as possible right now, which you mentioned before, but how about the investment opportunities that might present themselves to us?
So I think I'm just going to keep it all the way real, and I apologize if I hurt anybody's feelings. I feel like if you're on social media right now, if you have the time, spend some time to get off social media and research recessions. Mm-hmm. Research the past two recessions, I'd say 2018, and I think there was a little bit of one in 2011. Research them and see how people reacted, and see what stocks and what businesses did good. When you're investing in stocks, you're not investing in the stock, you're investing in the company. You're investing in the potential of the company to perform in the market. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about companies that you're attracted to, that you're attached to, that make money throughout anything. Zoom is doing well. Skype is doing well.
All the technical.
Netflix is doing well.
Yeah. The IT technology-based companies.
IT companies, biotech, pharmaceuticals. You have to think about companies. You have to think about what's doing well, like companies. You're not thinking about, okay, I'm buying the stock. Remove your emotions, right? Where's a good place to start? I think Mike asked that. A good place to start is how much money can you lose right now? Look at your bank and say, all right, I can lose 1,000. I'm prepared to lose 1,000, and then go and buy the equivalent of stocks in that amount for your favorite company. If you like Instagram, or Instagram is owned by Facebook, you invest in Facebook stocks. Purell is owned by, I can't remember, but Purell is what's being used for the hand sanitizers right now, right? So you get the you get those stocks because hand sanitizers are getting bought like left, right, and center. There are companies that are signing all these contracts, like multi-million-dollar contracts to develop masks. You want to look at those companies. Airboss of America, free game. Airboss of America is a good stock. They just signed a deal. Johnson & Johnson just signed a $450 million contract with the U.S. To develop a pharmaceutical vaccine or something like that. That's a good stock to look at. Amazon, yeah, people talked about Amazon, Shopify. These companies are performing well right now. E-commerce, people don't want to leave their house. Are you going to invest in a car company, a car production company right now? No. Are you going to invest in a courier company or a delivery company? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to.
They're still working.
Think about what's happening in the market. 3 years from now, 3 or 4 years from now, 30% of malls are going to be shut down. People are pivoting to e-commerce.
Yeah.
So are you going to be investing in real estate or an area that is going to build up a mall? The mall may have no traffic. They may have to shut the mall down and build up real estate, like residential real estate.
Absolutely. And once again, just to remind people, this is Flight 654. We're having a conversation with Amoye Henry. She's been dropping gems all the way. I know everyone's feeling this conversation. We'll just ask you to do us a favor. Just share this conversation with your friends, share it on your story, share anything that you might feel very valuable. But just remember to tag Amoye while you're sharing it, right?
Buy my book.
Huh?
Buy my ebook.
Of course, we'll get into that. So you dropped an ebook, say last week, right?
On Saturday,
right? Congratulations on that milestone, I would say. It's something to be proud of. It's something that your children read, right? You're talking about generational things that will be consumed by generations, right? So, and dropping a book is...
I just wanted to create like a moment piece. Right now, everybody's like freaking out about this COVID, and I want us to center ourselves and remember where we are and why we're here and be intentional. And I've been thinking about ways to be intentional as well. So I wanted to do the ebook because I felt like not only will it divert people who want to live in my DMs, it also holds me accountable to collecting the truth, collecting things that are verifiable and that you can easily Google. But it holds me accountable for me saying I'm actually like trying to really do this in my community and really be there for people. So I created a tool to create value.
Absolutely. And we're gonna talk about the book real quick. I know is most of the stuff.
It's at shop.amoyhenry.com for
Yeah,
people who ask.
We'll plug it. We'll plug it. The name of the ebook is Navigating COVID-19 in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And most of the stuff, some of the stuff you shared in here are small time compared to what you shared in the book, right? So you go in depth in the book as far as what are the right strategies people, because you said it's a tool, right? So people can use it. It's a guide for people to use, right? And we just want to ask you, where can people find this book? Oh, she dropped off. So I'm just gonna try and get her back if I can. But remember, this is flight 654. We are having an interview with Amoye. I'm not sure if she's back on, but we're just gonna wait. So you might as well start up question and answer session. What do you guys think? If you have any other questions that you want to ask her while she's walking her way back, drop your comments right now, and we'll address them when she gets back. In the meantime, let me see if she's actually back. Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to get her back here. We're going to save the live, definitely. We will save the live, and you can rewatch it on Flight 654. All you need to do is to follow us on Flight 654. While we're waiting for her, I'm just gonna... Mike, could you send me a request so you can jump back in? Not sure why this isn't working anymore. So we are going to announce the winner pretty soon. Let's see. Okay, for some reason I'm getting some technical difficulties here. So if you guys can please just log back in. I'm going to sign out right now of this session. From this session, if you guys can please just log back in. I will appreciate it, and we'll try to get Amoye back on. So again, I'm going to end the session right now. Just click it back in, and we will be right here.